How much money do you need for retirement? Grab a pen, a paper and a calculator and let's find out how much you need to retire right now. What's up everyone? My name is Joris. Welcome back. Recently I asked my friends how much money they will need to have saved up to stop working altogether right now. I tried to talk a lot about personal finances with my friends and I was a bit surprised when my best friend told me he would need 1.5 million just to stop working right now. When asking around, I heard amounts ranging from 500,000 euros to 5 million euros. What is obvious is that most people have no clue. But what if I tell you that it's probably less than you would expect? Most people have no clue what they actually need for their retirement because they have no idea how much money they are actually spending right now and what they are spending that money on. It's actually not that hard to calculate your magic number. You'll only need to spend a little time figuring out what your magic number is and how to work towards that number. In this video we will define your number and start up a strategy that will surely lead to that number. Before we start out, write down what you think you will need on the top of your paper and then destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you have not done that already. Also hit the notification bell to be notified when a new video comes out. It helps me a lot. I thank you for it. I'm waiting. If you want to calculate how much you will need for retirement, you will first have to have a good overview of what you spend in a year. First off, start by writing down the yearly costs of your home mortgage, of your utilities, the food you buy every month, actually all of the year, the food you buy, and your basic transportation. Also your basic insurance. Those 5 items are key. If you're not sure what your numbers are, look through your financial statements and add everything up. Pause the video if you have to do some calculations beforehand. The number you have calculated now is your baseline, the first step. If you manage to earn enough passive income to cover those basic expenses, you will have achieved financial security. Not having to work for your housing, your utilities, your food, your transport and your insurances, your basic insurances is a great feeling. You will notice that this number is largely dependent on your housing costs, like mortgage, and your transportation costs, like a car payment. Having a paid off house and a paid off car will hugely impact this number. Needless to say, having to pay it off completely will aid you a lot in this journey. So let's say the number you calculated is 1,250 euros per month or 15,000 euros a year. To cover those expenses, your investments will have to generate at least that amount of money yearly. How much money do you need for this? Well, when you are correctly invested, you should be able to safely withdraw at least 4% of your portfolio yearly. If you want to know how to easily build up your portfolio, click the link up here. A yearly return of 15,000 euros means that your investment portfolio will have to be at least 375,000 euros to cover all those expenses. This is an easy calculation. Take your yearly costs and multiply them by 25. Now calculate this number using your own numbers. Is that portfolio size you end up with comparable with what you have written down on top of your page? Of course, this is only the first step towards success. Not having to pay for basic costs of living is great, but life is more than that. So let's take it a step further. Let's now look at your current lifestyle. Tally up all the expenses you have during the year, using your early number and then adding all the costs of clothing, of holidays, of leisures and so on. Use that new total number and multiply it again by 25 to see what you'll have to achieve in your investment portfolio. If your financial security number was 15,000 euros and your other yearly costs are another 10,000 euros, your new total will obviously be 25,000 euros per year, or multiplied by 25, 625,000 euros invested. If you manage to earn this new total in passive income, you will have achieved financial independence. Again, not having to work to maintain your current lifestyle means you can quit your job and live as you were without having to worry about a thing. Now let's go back to my friend who thought he needed 1.5 million to stop working. He now understands that 625,000 euros will already be enough. saving 625,000 euros instead of 1.5 million to stop working altogether right now, not having to worry about your income. That doesn't seem too bad, does it? But once again, why stop here? If you are financially independent and you want to quit your job, sure, do so. But beware, most people work more than 30 hours a week, time that now will be spent at home. So more time to pass, more things to do. More things to do, more money spent. Often people who stop working can see a rise in their yearly expenses. They didn't calculate all the extra free time they'd have. And if you fill your time with a free hobby, there is no problem. But most things cost you money, so you'll have to take that into account as well. This is exactly why financial independence might not be enough for everyone. Listen around. How many times do you hear that people will travel more when they retire? They will start a new hobby, they will donate to a good cause, or they want to buy a new house close to the sea and visit it every so often in the year. But what if I told you that these projected expenses can also be added to your portfolio? All you have to do is make a global guesstimate of how much these goals will cost you and how much you will need to achieve those goals. If your financial independence number is 25,000 euros a year, once again, simply add the yearly costs of your new goals to that number. Do you want to donate 5,000 euros a year to a good cause? Well, add it to your number. Do you want to buy a new house by the sea? Add the yearly mortgage costs to that number. Do you want to go on a holiday a few times a year? Well, add the projected costs to your total. You get the point. So let's assume big goals and wishes. Those goals will cost you another 25,000 euros a year. So we are suggesting that your yearly expenses would double after retirement. Now this is your financial freedom number. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and you don't have to worry about the money. It will come in regardless if you take an extra holiday or not. A total expense of 50,000 euros a year will require a portfolio of 1,250,000 euros. That is still lower than what my good friend thought he would need, and it covers everything he needs right now, as well as some goals he didn't even think about just now. But before you say, I have very expensive dreams, I want to buy an airplane, or I want to buy a boat, and those things cost me a lot of money, I will then ask you, why will you buy a boat if you'll only use it a few times a year? Why not rent it for the time you go on holiday? If you were to buy a Sunseeker in perfect condition, you'd be paying around 335,000 euros. Then you'll have to pay for fuel, for docking space, insurances, upkeep, and so on. Since loans for boats are quite strict, banks often won't let you loan for longer than 10 years. This means you'll have to be paying off around 3,000 euros a month for the loan, and maybe another 500 or even 1,000 euros a month for the extra costs. Buying the boat will cost you at least 42,000 euros a year. And how many days in the year will you actually use it? Maybe half a month, 20 days in the year? That will be an expensive 20 days, costing you 2,100 euros per day. But on the other hand, you could rent the same boat for 1,250 euros a day, resulting you in 25,000 euros for the same period. You don't have to worry about the upkeep, the docking space, or even a skipper. It's very easy. My point here is, don't just assume things are expensive. There are often alternatives for those who look. All of the previous calculations are of course counting on your only income coming from your stock market investments. But there are other investments out there that will have other returns. Real estate, for example, often has a higher return, sometimes ranging up to an easy 8% net return. But we'll address that in another video. The message I'm giving here is not per se to focus on a 4% safe withdrawal rate of your portfolio. Be proactive. Look for other types of passive income. And be sure what your expenses are, and maybe change some expenses to limit your costs. When you have a good understanding of your finances, you can work towards investments that cover all your needs. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you've not done that already. It just takes a few seconds, but it helps me and the channel a lot. you can always unsubscribe later in the future. I wish you the best of luck with your investments, and if you want to see more of my videos, click one of them right here. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.